Welcome to this look at a new mod map on Farming Simulator 19 with me, MrSealyp. Welcome to Rustic Acres. This is a new map out by Kaz64, 179.75 megabytes to download. There are no custom crops on this map, there are no custom mods, it's base game giant stuff to start off with. I'm on New Farmer, normal economy. I always do my map tours like that. On New Farmer, it's 610 out of 1299 slots, which isn't too bad. We can get that down. I will explain why as we go around. The map looks like this. And on New Farmer, what do we start with? Well, we start with the main farm in the middle. Now, this has been made by Kaz64. And it does say this is a fictional map inspired by the way I like to play maps. And I've talked to a lot of people recently about maps and modders, and people asking, you know, who do I ask if I want something made? And I always say, modders and map makers will make things they're passionate about. Generally speaking, most modders, most map makers don't take requests, kind of thing, and it will be out of a want or a need, or you know, there'll be something they think, I really want to make this, I really want this in my game, I really want a map like this. And that's what, you know, Mantrid started out making mods for that very reason. There was stuff he wanted to be used and wanted to play with, and said, you know what, I'll make it myself. So that's the point behind this. And I also want to point out, this is a rolling work in progress. Kaz64, I got a message via someone else to say that it's a rolling work in progress, that, and it does say actually on the website, feel free to offer any suggestions as these will be used for improvements on any further future updates. So they want it to be a constantly evolving thing, which I think is brilliant. So we start with all of the animals and your farm area and your silo right here, pretty much in the middle of the map. You start with fields 1, 2 and 3. And these are all removable and replaceable, including the sleep trigger, which is a good start. I mean, most people, that's what people are looking for, I think. Biogas Plant is 169,598. We will get around to have a quick look at it. And that is a regular standard biogas plant doing regular things. This map is also seasons and custom precision farming ready. So it has a custom soil map. What else do I want to point out before we move any further on? Oh yeah, field prices. Field prices do vary and can be pricey. A lot of the smaller fields, not all of them, are sort of centred around the farm in the middle. Plot 35, there's only 100,000. We've got a couple of small ones down the bottom here. 180, 144. And then they build up to some of the larger plots like that. There are 2 forested areas. Each of the forested areas has sections. They are a bit more pricey, I'll be honest. And we've got a forested area up the top here, which is a little bit cheaper. So you might want to start off one of the cheaper plots if you're doing forestry, and then work your way up. The other thing I'm going to point out now, I'm assuming this map is in the upside down. Because I think north is supposed to be down here. Simply because on this side of the map we've got the western grains. And on this side of the map, we've got the eastern mill. So I don't know if it's been like spun round 180 degrees, maybe. Maybe it is the upside down, who knows. So from here, we'll have a whiz round. We start with the farmhouse, standard Giants fare, but that is a good thing because it does, like I say, mean it's removable. For me personally, I haven't got loads of mods to go through to look at that the map makers put in. That's not a bad thing. It's not, you know, either way around you look at it. It's great when map makers add loads of extra stuff in, but it can be a bit of a minefield looking for things. As we look across the yard, we've got all the starting equipment. Standard silo. This is everything you start with. Shelters, nice big shelter space. Loads of room around here for manoeuvring vehicles. There are placeable areas all around the map as well. There are a couple of fields as well. We've got one directly opposite the farm there, and there's one a bit further up the map that's covered in trees. So if you want to use the field, I think it was Alien Jim. I'm pretty sure it was Jim that kind of first did that. Was it on Spectacle? Remove the trees and the field, you can do what you like with. But there's plenty of other fields around, but then you get a bit of lumber and some field use at the same time as well. What do we start with then? If we go into our garage, we start with a Fendt Favourite 515C. As you can see, slot count 610. Fiat 1300, Bison Super Z056. FarmTech TDK 1600 header for the Bison. We've got a corn header, also, well, a small one, not for the Bison, but it's a small corn header. Agrimash plough. We've got a cultivator, we've got a seeder, a planter, fertilizer spreader, rim mower. We've got a tedder, windrower, baler, water trailer for your animals, front loader attachments, weights, and then we move into all the animal pens. Standard grain silo, easy sheds, and the farmhouse. Like I say, all standard giant stuff, so there's nothing to worry about as far as mods go. Fantastic. What I'm going to do is probably grab, let's grab this one. I'm going to take the weights off of it first, but it is the faster of the two. We'll back up across here. Chicken pen. It's just across the yard there. There. We'll get to others in just a second, but what I want to show you is from about, I'm trying to think where I took the picture from now. I think it was about here. If you come onto this map on Farm Manager or Start from Scratch, you don't start with anything. Slot count drops from 610 to 420, which is pretty good. 420 on to start on a map, and it will look a little bit like this. Fantastic. This is another one of those ones. It's a fantastic starter map, I think, for anyone just sort of getting going, but it's also a fantastic map for a build your own farm, because all of these pens can be removed. Nice flat area out here where the pens are. There are loads of placeable areas for putting other sell points, other buildings. Like I've said before, with Alien Jim's No Man's Land pack and the Sosnovka pack and the Westbridge Hills pack, there's so many different ones out there. You could really build these up, especially starting at 420 horsepower, 420 slots. You could really, make it whatever you like. I think it's fantastic. Nice sweeping terrain as well. It's not flat everywhere. So, to my right, we've got the horse pen. I'm not going to go through where all the triggers and feed things are. Like I said, these are the standard Giants ones. If you've been playing the game for a while, I would say you should be au fait with those, but you might not be, I don't know. Cows, just there. Sheep, the next one along. And then pigs on the end. Now, there may be a slight issue, and that may just be because there are trees around. So if you do remove them, if you come on here on Farm Manor or Start from Scratch, that depending on what pens you're going to place, because the trees, it may be an issue, but you may just have to remove some trees. If you use the Black Sheep mod in T-Rex 600, yeah, it'll take no time at all to remove the trees if you want to do that. So we're going to head, I say south, possibly north. We'll say south for the time being. Get a bit of a feel for the terrain. We'll whiz around all the sell points. I think what's really nice as well, looking around again, because Kaz64 has decided to do that kind of, this is how I would want a map to be. The placeable points and stuff are all flat, so they sort of cut into the hillsides. They've tried to make them as flat as they possibly can. First up on our route is the Bale Sales. I will check on the map every now and again to show you where we are and where we've been. That's the Bale Sales point. Head right down to the southern part of the map, just to try and think whether to cut some bits out. I might, because some of the driving on this, actually after the first bit we've got quite a few sell points on top of each other, so there's loads of sell points. I think we've got about 15 or maybe 14 sell points, and then we've got the livestock market. Oh, actually we've got the store as well in there, but dairy just off to the side here. Sell point is in front of those two large tanks / silos. Carrying on that way to the southeast corner of the map, there are no more sell points out that direction, so we're going to head this way round. Now, apart from the main forested areas, there are trees everywhere. There's absolutely no shortage. Off to our left, we have got the old grain mill, just there. When we look at the sale screen, or the sell point screen, we'll see which ones are like main sell points. I suppose it's pretty obvious what the dairy one is. And then there is a spinnery we'll get to, again, fairly obvious. There's no train or anything that runs on here. There's plenty of space as well. There are a lot of trees knocking about. Like I say, they can be removed, but using large machinery, yeah, you'll have no problem at all. Roads are nice and wide. Now, this is the one that's got me a little bit puzzled. This is the biomass heating plant. Now, this isn't actually showing up on the sales menu. It does look like it's a lumber point, which is what that normally indicates, the exclamation mark. So I'm assuming it's a secondary lumber point. So what we'll do now at this point, it's probably a good point to have a look at it, is we'll go to the prices page, the selling points. If we scroll down or look down the list, it's not on there, the biomass. So there's nothing showing, but then it wouldn't necessarily if it's a timber, like a lumber point, because the sawmill will show the wood chip prices normally, but doesn't show a lumber price. So I assume it's just a secondary lumber point, which is kind of handy. But as you can see, as far as main sell points go, we've got the Eastern Mill, Old Grain Mill, Old Man's Mill, Ranch, Restaurant, Rustic Port, and Western Grains down the bottom. So we've got loads of sell points to choose from. And then obviously bales sale is your bales thing. Dairy does eggs and milk. Manure sales will take manure and slurry. We'll get around to those in a little while. And then, as I said, sawmill will do wood chips. It has also got a lumber point. Spinnery will do your wool and your cotton. But a few people ask me when I do these tours if I can recommend a geo or the specific geo that goes with it. The thing is with maps, sometimes yes, if there is a specific one, I've got to try to remember to do that. But with a map like this, which is fictitious, you can pick anything you'd like. Because it's fictitious, you can decide where you want it to be. I thought it had a kind of American feel just by the style of buildings and things like that, but it doesn't have to be. Because you can build this up to be whatever you want. Like I say, if you decide to use the Sosnovka Placeables pack, or you can choose any geo, pretty much. It's up to you. Another large placeable area there to the right. Like I said, there are loads of these knocking about. Now we're moving up the western side of the map. And we've got some nice beachfront, which doesn't initially show up on the map. When you look on the map, it doesn't show that as being there, but that's pretty cool. And we have a load of beachfront properties, starting off with another sell point, which is the restaurant, just there. Sell points around the back, I think. Yeah, pretty sure it's around the back. There we go. It's a great thing as well with having the sleep trigger that you can remove it and place one whenever you want. You could decide to have a beachfront property just along here, and that's where you start from if you want to. This is the Old Man's Mill. That's where I would be probably selling most of my products, I guess. Continuing north. We should come to, I don't think I've passed it yet. We'll do the turning to the biogas plant first. Got the pier out to the side there. Where's my turning? Fuel station on the right. Actually, we'll do the store, then we'll do the biogas plant. So we turn in just here. We've got the main store. Huge open area, plenty of room for machinery to spawn. Nice wide open gate area for getting large machinery in and out. You've got your sell point, repair, customised just there, and your main store point trigger just there. Large class dealership. Don't know if we can go in. We can. Cool. Well stocked. Very nice indeed. Your reset point on this map is also here, so if you do get anything stuck or just want to reset things back to the store, it will reset back here. And we head inland just a little bit. Actually, I'm just looking to see if it says it's manure system ready. Seasons ready, custom precision farming ready. It doesn't mention the manure system. Now there are 47 fields on this map, and it does also say all 47 fields have contracts on them. Now obviously if you come onto here on farm a new farmer, you own the first 3 of those. So every field you buy, as it is normally, you then lose any potential contracts on that because you then own it, so contracts won't then happen. But if you come onto here and start from scratch, your farm manager, all 47 fields have contracts on, according to the blurb. Biogas plant, just on the left hand side, huge facility, 2 very, very large silage clamps. Sell point / into the digesters, just there. I did get picked up on that a while ago. I said the digester is there. That's technically not the digester, that's just where you put the stuff in, but you know what I mean. And then your digestate tank, so your byproduct for anything you sell at the biogas plant, can be collected from just there. Farm dog loves a bit of digestate. But again, just to reiterate, if you're new to the game, if you want to use the biogas plant to put anything in it to sell, or use the silos and that kind of thing, you do need to own the land. Well, to use the silos, sometimes that depends on the map. But if you're going to use the sell point and actually earn any money, you need to own the biogas plant, which, as I said, is 169,598 of whatever currency you have chosen. From here, we'll go back out and we'll head up and around the top. There's loads of traffic. There's no... Everywhere you go, there seems to be a lot, but it's not... It doesn't seem to be in the way, I suppose, when you do the map more and more. If you're using faster vehicles, lorries, that kind of stuff, it may be a bit frustrating. You can always turn traffic off, can't you, if you wanted to. Let's cut across. Be a bit cheeky. Right, so continuing north. Oh, that's some nice properties along here. So the next sale point we are coming to, yep, on our right. This is the Eastern Mill. Just there, tucked in behind the trees. Another large facility. And then coming up in the corner of the map, top corner of the map, we have got the rustic port. I don't think the port itself is rustic, I just think it's because it's rustic acres, it's, you know, rustic port. Another large placeable area just to the right, and the port sell point is just up inside here. From here then, leaving the beachfront, we are going to head up towards Spinnery. I think it's the Spinnery next. I'm trying to remember. I have notes written down. When I do the tours, I try to remember the names of them. When there are a lot, I'll make notes. Yeah, I'm sure it's the Spinnery next. It seems like a very big map. I suppose because I mean you could cut across all of it. You don't have to go around and follow the roads because there's no hedges, fences, or anything like that in the way. Oh, that was what I was going to say about the Spinnery. I've just remembered. This is the Spinnery, but I don't think there's a hazard marked area. I couldn't see one on the floor for the sell point itself, so I'm not too sure where the trigger is. So what I'm going to do is, let's just hop into here. We'll go to the Spinnery, tag place. Okay, that's where it's saying, well, I mean, that's where it's saying the Spinnery is. I'm assuming that's the sell point part by that ramp, or, but it's going to be round here anyway. It's the Spinnery. It's got to be here somewhere, hasn't it? I'll say it's got to be. I hope so. That normally works. There we go, right. Let's hop back into the tractor and continue on. Another field there, I'm sure it says there's a couple. I'm sure it's 2 grass fields. There's the second grass field there, field 14, that's covered in trees as well. So you have to remove the trees if you want to use the field. Or you could cut them all down and replant trees in it if you wanted to. You can have it as a nursery type thing if you want to go down that route. Now, in front of us, we are going to sweep up, I say sweep up the hillside, it's a bit of a climb. Gain some elevation up towards the sawmill. It's interesting because going up here, you sort of gain elevation very quickly. And it's not that it's particularly low-lying, it's a gradual kind of climb up, and then we hit this bit where it's a lot steeper. But coming off the other side is far more gradual. And you don't really realise it's kind of very well done. I'm not implying I'm surprised by that. It's just on the way back out, when I was going around the map checking to see where everything was, as I went out the other side, I thought I didn't even really notice the fact we've kind of lost elevation again. Nicely kind of blended in. So, large sawmill complex with forestry behind, up around the back. We have got the lumber point, which is just there, and the wood chip sell point, as far as I can tell, because it does say the wood chips are sold at the sawmill, is around the back. Again, it's not got the hazard markings, but it has got the... Oh, it has got the hazard markings. There we go. Just there. There's your wood chip sell point. So we're quite high up now, overlooking the rest of the map. We're going to head out, and where's next? The ranch, I think, is the next sell point. So if you have got horses down at your main farm and you want to exercise them, you might want to bring them up to the ranch. There's a bit of there's like a horse stable training area and stuff there, but we'll see that in a moment. You see what I mean though about it seeming very big though? I don't know why it does. It's strange. It's a standard map size, but yeah, I don't know. There is plenty of scope as well for, blending fields together, making larger ones if you wanted to. You've got lots of runoff area around most of the fields. Again, there may be some trees you have to remove, and some, if you find workers are stopping or that kind of thing, it maybe you just need to remove a few trees here and there. But there is plenty of scope. It does say worker friendly, but we all know what workers are like on, they can be a bit finicky here and there. So here we're up at the ranch, training and exercise areas. I mean, you could, I suppose, I'm just trying to think actually, I don't know if you can buy this plot. That could be a problem, because a lot of these plots, they've got the sell points on, you can't buy. If you click on them, I don't think you can buy the ranch. No, you can't. You can buy the plot next to it, so you could potentially put your horses there if you wanted it all in one place. Yeah, if you wanted to. The sell point here up at the ranch. Is just there. Now we come out towards, not right along the outer edge of the map, but towards it. Actually, we are going to be, yeah, pretty much out by the edge of the map, I think. In a moment, we head towards Western Grains. Which is just here. And one thing I don't like to complain, one thing I think now, going round and looking at them all as I whiz round, personally, and it does say, feel free to offer any suggestions, I would like to maybe have seen different buildings used for the sell points. The main sell points all do seem to be that large kind of grain style facility It's a small thing. I mean, it makes no difference. The sell point is the sell point. The building is just the kind of dressing for it, I guess. But yeah, it might be quite nice. This is the manure sales point, so you can sell slurry and manure here. Actually, we haven't looked at the map for a little while, have we? We came from... When was the last time I looked? It was a while back, wasn't it? Went right way down to the bottom. Dairy, old grain mill, biomass. Up the side, restaurant, old man's mill. Petrol station, we did the store, and into the biogas plant. Back out again, up to Eastern Mill, Rustic Port, Spinnery. Then we swept up the top here to the sawmill. We've come out along... I could have gone that way, but I came out that way, I think. Up to the ranch, Western Grains, Manure Sales. Next, we've got the animal dealer. And then it's back towards the main farm. Livestock market is just here with the trigger. I guess, yeah, the only other thing I might mention while I'm doing this as well is because you can't buy... Maybe if you had it as, like, sometimes on the map you can buy the periphery for 0, or, you know, even if there's a small charge. To be able to buy these plots of land, if you are going to do a storyline type thing, it does... I mean, there's plenty of space and a lot of the area is flat. I just think for placeables and stuff like that, sometimes at the sell points it's nice to be able to add in... You know, sometimes you add in silos or, you know, whatever it might be you might want to put in. So potentially, like I say, it's easy to say it, but it's not necessarily that easy to actually do. I mean, I'm just saying, possibly, maybe that would be something that could happen. Another large placeable area off to the side there. And we're heading in towards the middle of the map again, back towards the main farm. We should come in, if I'm doing this the right direction, at the back of the animals, I think. So looking down my list, I'm pretty sure I covered everything. Yeah, there's the animals coming up now, I think. You can see what I mean now about being a flat area. So all of those areas that are designed for you to be able to place stuff are kind of cut into the hillsides. So you shouldn't have too much in the way of additional costs for placing. And you shouldn't have to do a lot of landscaping yourself to be able to place certain things. That's not to say you can't do landscaping if you wanted to add a huge hill or a huge quarry, or, you know, whatever you wanted to do. I don't see any reason why you shouldn't be able to. And that's the map. That's Rustic Acres by Kaz64. Has a lot of potential, this one. You know, it's nothing wrong with the map at all as it stands. You can come on, you can play, you can do everything you want to do on Farming Simulator on this as it is. But it has a lot of potential, and that potential's been added in by the map maker to be able to create whatever you want with all the placeable areas, all the flat areas. The fact that you can sell the sleep trigger gives you that possibility and option to do it somewhere else without having to go into multiplayer. I know a lot of people commented when I mentioned it on the last episode, last tour I did, and people said, well, you can if you go into multiplayer, you place a new one, remove the other one, then when you come out it's in the new place. It's a lot of mucking around. I mean, and a lot of people don't play multiplayer or go on. I did have someone comment the other day saying, you know, what about if, mind you, you wouldn't be on a modded map if you haven't got in the internet, would you? Anyway, regardless of that. So yeah, a lot of scope, a lot of potential. Good map as it is, with, like I say, plenty of sell points. Hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.